Hey, welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name is Dan. I am joined by my big bro, the coach. Many podcasts, they'll give you something to take away. Some, they'll make you laugh. Some will help you to learn something in the kitchen. Some will maybe help you focus on your fitness. Some will even try to help you make money. But at the Sports Reverends, we actually offer something far greater, far more important than any of that stuff. We actually have a solution to all your problems. Think about that for a moment. That obviously sounds too good to be true. It may even sound like a gimmick. The reality is we really do have a source for you that will change your life. We have a solution for you that really does solve everything. We're passionate about a few things in life. One of those things are sports. We're even more passionate about our faith in Christ. Now, watching and playing sports has always been a huge part of our lives, and it has played an incredible role in helping us grow in our faith. In this show, we share our experiences of the challenges of life and how sports and faith has really been a driving force for us to overcome and succeed in those challenges. My name's Dan Chandran, pastor downtown Toronto, also a chaplain for Toronto Fire. My brother here, he's a longtime coach on the basketball court. He's also a coach in the stock market, also a longtime Christ follower, passionate about his faith. Hope you're ready for some hot sports takes and our unapologetic faith. Coach, give us the Sports Revs fam the rundown of our show today, our special show today.
We got a special one for you for sure. As always, quick hitters. We're going to talk a little bit NFL. We got to talk about Vince Carter's retirement tour and how we feel about that. And we have a very special guest joining us today, Kevin Janzen, someone that has, I think, mentored both of us growing up. So that it's kind of cool to get him on the show. And our first of many people who are joining us for the year. Look forward to seeing what we're going to talk about and roll from there. Why don't you start us off with the quick hitters and let's get started.
Joel Embiid reached a 3-year, $192.9 million extension with the 76ers.
Man got paid. Aces center AJ Wilson becomes the second unanimous WNBA MVP.
Chicago White Sox have tied the record for the most losses since the 1900. Wow.
1900. Worst ever. And more sad baseball news, October 26th is the very last game in the Oakland Coliseum, as the Athletics are going to move to Sacramento for a couple of years and then up to Vegas.
The legend in the making, Shohei Ohtani, first ever MLB player to reach 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases in a season. Absolutely.
He's got a couple more games to go to up that total.
Bananas. Absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
All right, let's handle some business. Urban Hope is the mentorship program that I get to run in downtown Toronto. I shared this last week. I'll share it again. There is a testimony, a life-bringing story from one of the parents who stood up in front of a whole board of people and shared how our mentorship program saved their son's life. Their son would be gang-banging on the block or selling drugs. And they said the mentorship program that we have through Urban Hope has saved her son's life and helped develop into a man that is successful and growing and on the right path. And if you want to be a part of many of those stories, we need your support. We need you to help us out. You can visit our link in the bio, churchinthecity.ca. You can see the Urban Hope section where we create a safe place for kids and youth in our marginalized neighborhood. We pour into them developmental skills and mentorship skills. We help push them towards success. And if you want to be a part of that, please check it out. Please consider giving, and you're going to help save many kids' lives. All right, Coach, back to you.
Awesome. So as a pastor, you obviously are happy for Sunday because you get to share the word. But I think for you especially, NFL season also helps augment that day. Makes it just a little bit better. So, and for many people, Sunday is football day. So we're going to talk about a few games here, get some thoughts. And let's just start off the Thursday nighter, Jets versus Patriots. What did you think of this game? And what do you think of the final score?
Yeah, I thought, it was, in the sense, a boring game because the Jets totally dominated the game. But for the record. The Jets really, I don't know when they've had steady position at the quarterback position, like more than steady. Aaron Rodgers looked fantastic. Aaron Rodgers looked so tuned in, clicked in, had a weird little moment there with coach after the end of the first half when they went to try for a hug and he kind of pushed them away. I think they're just fired up, and I think people probably read into it too much. But wow, the Jets look for real. New England looks kind of like who they're supposed to be, not very good. I don't know how long Mr. Brissett there is going to be able to stay in play. He looks like he's going to get hurt every single game. It was kind of cool to see rookie Drake May, UNC product. Yeah, get a couple reps there at the end, and overall, it was just great to see the Jets look good. I was happy for the fans there. They've never really experienced that, and I don't know when.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Testaverde is kind of the name that comes up in a while, right? And that a long time ago. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is still cooking at 40. Whatever he's microdosing or retreats, whatever he's doing, seems to be working. So him and Tom Brady have some knowledge to get a drop on that. How about this? This was really surprised me. Houston and Minnesota.
Wow, just the Kevin O'Connell, coach of the Minnesota Vikings, just put his hat in for coach of the year as of right now. Just totally has this team smoothly going. He's kind of taken Sam Darnold, taken away all the extra pressure stuff and given him a situation to say, just don't make a mistake. Go in, make a play if it's there, but play very conservative, play within your means, and look how amazing he's looked over these first 3 games. I wouldn't put him in the MVP conversation quite yet, but he's looked incredible. He's managing the game extremely well. Their defense is flying to the ball, and they looked great. This Houston team's for real, and they took it to them and dominated.
Yeah, they whooped them, and I mean, I think there's a lot of hype starting Sam Darnold right now. A lot of positivity. Can he keep it up the rest of the year? We'll see. 14 more games is a long way to go, but I don't think anybody truly believed that they'd be 3-0 and top of the AFC North at this point. Pundits, no chance for that. This was the game. Also, another surprise based on the score: Philly and New Orleans. What happened here?
Apparently, it was a defensive juggernaut kind of game. These Phillies defense was in question going into this game, and they're the ones who really set the tone and led the way for the Eagles to get that victory. They kind of snuck out with the victory, and Jalen Hurts is not looking that great. He's kind of a turnover machine right now. I guess AJ Brown means a lot to that team.
Yes,
but that acquisition of Saquon Barkley
changed.
Just been a total game changer for them. Like, he's in the MVP running right now. He's been incredible. Derek Carr kind of came crashing down to earth. We're kind of waiting that for Sam Darnold. We're kind of waiting that for Baker Mayfield. We saw that as well as for Baker Mayfield, but Derek Carr came back to reality. New Orleans kind of came back to reality. I still think they're okay, but Philly also has a lot of, like, both. This just raised the question marks even greater for both these teams. There's a lot of parity right now in the NFL.
Yeah, and I think the Saquon Barkley, they could easily be 3-0 right now. Easily be 3-0. Different rhetoric around the whole team. And I think the early wins that New Orleans has put up is going to help them possibly take a stranglehold in the AFC or NFC South. A lot of, like you said, parity there. And getting those early wins is definitely going to help. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see if they can keep it up. But Philly, these are kind of the wins that you need to dig deep, and then start turning your season around. Right, the ugly wins, the wins that don't feel great, but a W is a W.
W is a W.
We'll take it. Jacksonville and Buffalo. Finally, Josh Allen puts up a big game for me in fantasy.
He had a pretty good week 1 as well, but yeah, Josh Allen just spreading the love. First half, 5 different touchdowns, 5 different people, just incredible. Buffalo dominated. I was very surprised by Jacksonville's really lack of discipline and lack of readiness for this game. I thought they were going to be desperate. Hope to see a desperate Jacksonville in week 4. I think I do like Trevor Lawrence, but they played very poorly. Buffalo dominated every side. every possession basically, and they're moving the ball with these. It was really cool to see DeMar Hamlin, kind of have that full circle where he gets that interception, and just really cool to see that, to see how he's bounced back. Yeah.
This makes 8 straight losses extending the last season for Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh.
Now, I know they just paid him big money. A change is going to be made pretty soon. And it might be, they might bench him for a game or a half or something to spark something, because this team is underperforming big time.
Big time.
Washington and Cincinnati. Fill us in. I know you got some stats. You're happy to stay with us.
Welcome to the party, Jaden Daniels. Wow. We let me just finish these stats here. Jaden Daniels on Monday, 21 for 23, 91.3% NFL rookie record. He had 293 yards, 3 total touchdowns. Totally incredible. I was very hard on him the first 2 weeks, and wow, has he just looked amazing on that Monday nighter. Good for him. Yeah, it really gives these Washington Commanders hope, some life. And wow, is Cincinnati ever in trouble? They're 0-3. Their defense looks atrocious, and that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
They are. I think they're coming back down to earth a little bit too. Like, we had a lot of high expectations for them moving towards the season, but again, you said the parity's there, and this could be an interesting year in the AFC North if the Steelers continue to outperform expectations. Last but not least, your favorite game of the day, Baltimore and Dallas.
Come on. Back to back again, just looked like it's something. Like, I know it's the NFL. There's going to be games where you lay an egg, but to lay 2 eggs in a row, the way you lose is important, right? And they really did lose terribly. They had a little bit of a comeback there in the fourth quarter, but the first 3 quarters was horrible. They averaged about 8 to 9. Baltimore averaged 8 to 9 yards throughout the first 3 quarters per possession.
That's nuts.
That's unacceptable. So, there's things got to change. They got to wake up. I think Thursday nighter with Dallas versus the Giants in the Meadowlands will be a good bounce back for them. It'll be a good spot for them, a good chance for them to get their stuff together. But that's trouble. Baltimore was desperate, though. They needed that W. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just, they played Thursday night. It's a short week for them. It feels like, the late Monday game, or the late Sunday game, Thursday game. Could Dallas be looking at one of those, we're going to win this one and move on to the next one? Could they already be skipping this game thinking they've locked it in? Or do you think they're going to be focused enough to say, hey, we're going to come out, destroy the Giants, get our season back on?
Yeah, they better come out and destroy them, because they got to get their season on track now. They can't wait any longer. I think heads may roll if they lose to the Giants, and they especially if they don't lose if they don't win in convincing fashion. I think that speaks volumes too. So that's all I can hope for the Cowboys. But it's you can kind of see the slow deterioration with they're going to get less wins than last year. They're kind of taking a step backwards. You can kind of see that with San Fran, even as they get older. The older guys are now hurt, and they're kind of in their peak window. I think Dallas is kind of past. We'll see if they can turn it around. But San Fran for sure is in their Super Bowl window. This is like the end of it, so they got to do it this year, and we'll see.
Okay, let's take a quick pause, do some business, and we'll go from here. All right, time to handle some business. If you have been looking for a way to retire, if you've been looking to understand what inflation actually is, if you've looked at your financial statements that you've given to your money guy and you're thinking, how am I going to make this work when I'm 65? You have to check out www.traintoinvest.com. Download the free ebook and learn about what your options are when it comes to finding a second source of income, to stewarding your capital you saved, and providing yourself with an opportunity to retire the way you want to when you've reached that age. Gone are the days where you stick with the same company for 30 plus years, you get a gold watch, and you get a big fat pension. Those days are gone. people hop to jobs left, right, and center, and you've been told to put money in your RRSPs. Well, start taking a look at your statements, and you'll find out, hey, I may have made 7%, but if inflation's 4 or 5%, you're cooked. So if you're looking for a way to save up for something down the line, like a wedding or a college graduation, or if you're looking to find a second source of income to supplement what you're doing now, check us out at www.train2invest.com. www.train2invest.com. Download the free ebook, and we'll be happy to connect and see if we can help you meet the goals you're looking for. All right. Bills got paid. Let's talk about something that has been polarizing in the past and has drawn a lot of different emotions, especially here in Toronto, and if you're a basketball fan across Canada. Vince Carter. Vince Carter, it's a big year for him, going to the Basketball Hall of Fame. Just announced that they're going to retire his jersey on November 2nd in Toronto against DeMar DeRozan and the Sacramento Kings. So a lot of stuff going on there. And then New Jersey is going to retire his jersey in, I think, January of 2025. I believe it's the 15th as well. So lots of things going on for Vince Carter. Let me just start with this first question to you, Daniel. What did you think when Vince Carter got traded?
I was absolutely gutted. I was furious with the Toronto Raptors organization. I know a lot of people, especially here in Toronto, they have a little bit of bitterness towards Vince because he left. But the reality is it was poor management. It was mismanagement. How can you not include your franchise player in decisions for your rosters going forward? Make him a part of it all. Like, you could have had such a great. They were on the cusp. They were right there with the Sixers. They were right there to make some moves, and they let him go for nothing, for a box of chocolates. They got Alonzo Mourning, who decided not to play for us, and a bunch of other small pieces that ended up being zero. So it was unacceptable. It was really sad. It was heartbreaking because Vince Carter was that guy. He was the replacement of the excitement of Michael Jordan to keep the league's excitement going. So it was heartbreaking. It really was. I got Vince right up there in the corner there. It's my boy.
He's your boy. I mean, when Vince was traded, and what was really smart was the Raptors really controlled the narrative. Yeah. And I was so angry that Vince would leave. When Jordan retired in 92-93, I think little Joel was just stunned. I didn't think basketball would go on. When Vince left, I was so heartbroken. I was so upset at Vince, and I booed him in my mind whenever I watched him on TV, especially when he went on those playoff runs with the Nets. It was insane. It was because he was still so. The nickname "Half Man, Half Amazing" is right up there with AK-47 Andre Kirilenko. Just unreal. And the impact that Vince also had in the community was something else. So to see him leave was just so heartbreaking. But then when you hear about what happened on the documentary from the other side, you're thinking about, how do these guys have jobs? Yeah. They totally mismanaged the Raptors. When Vancouver left, you have this beautiful franchise who has all of Canada behind it, as we saw in 2019 when the Raps won the chip. And you just like you said, mismanaged it to the max. And, you had Tracy McGrady, you had Vince Carter. Like, in today's NBA, you'd be set. They're a significantly better version of Tatum and Brown, right?
And
set.
Yeah, totally. And I think statistically, where they end up all time is lower than what they were because of injuries and things like that going forward. Yeah. But peak Vince, peak T-Mac. Oh, man. Just nasty. Incredible. Nasty. Just incredible. Defensively, not so great, but no one plays defense in the NBA today. So
I think Vince is an underrated defender. He had to do a lot for that team. I mean, and really, look at Charles Oakley. He's not scoring buckets for you. He's here purely to defend. Alvin Williams, who's a decent point guard. Come on. There's no game changer on that team.
Yeah.
The fact that they crucified him for going to his graduation at UNC, and then missing a game-beating buzzer beater almost is insane.
How many points did he drop that game? Like he played incredible that game,
Yeah,
and because he missed the in and out, that shot went in and out for him. Like
it, insane.
totally unfair. Totally unfair to
They would have got
give him a
stomped by
hard
the
time.
Lakers, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know. And I think and one thing about Vince that I will there's two things I'll say about this. One, he could have been better than Kobe. He could have been
Whoa.
better than Kobe. He had the athletic skills. He had he could shoot. He could drive. Um,
Whoa.
he could have been better than Kobe, but he had a very jovial attitude, kind of like Dwight Howard, kind of joking and smiling. He didn't have that killer instinct, which set him apart. And again, I'm not saying Kobe anybody has Kobe's killer instinct. Like that's just maniacal at that point. But if Vince was a little more serious, I think we would have saw an even higher peak from him. The second thing, though, is
Wait,
that
hold
man
on
was
for
a
one sec. One sec.
chameleon.
One sec.
Yeah.
Speaking of Vince and Kobe, interesting fact. Did you know that they played together in high school?
Yes.
And Vince was a senior. Can you imagine going up against Vince and Kobe? Like that's insane. Insane.
Yeah, that would be. I would. It'd be over. It'd be over.
So
My
Kobe's always said,
would be dead.
yeah, oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Kobe would always said that he wanted to go to Duke if he went to college. I
Yeah.
think it's because of Vince's hype and how he went to
Yes.
UNC, right? Because he wanted to be better than him. So I think that's
Absolutely.
that's a taste of Kobe's mentality.
I'll wrap it up here. The second piece. Vince was a chameleon. When he could no longer be the dunking, I'm going to kill you at the rim kind of guy, he developed a 3-point shot. He
Yeah.
developed a spacing. Like he was clutch. How many guys do you see completely turn their game around?
Yeah.
And that's the skill set that Vince Carter had, which is
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. So the 2000 dunk contest, my favorite, 2001, sorry, my favorite by far. I have that YouTube playlist saved when Vince goes off on all his dunks. And even to, sorry, I will say this: Aaron Gordon came pretty close to
Yeah.
give me that same wow factor. But
Yeah.
when Vince put it through his legs, and when Vince put his elbow in the rim, oh my goodness, blew my mind.
It's over,
Blew
ladies
my
and gentlemen. It's over.
So
Unreal.
yeah,
Unreal.
unreal.
Just
Love it. Love it.
shout
So
out to
hopefully,
Vince
if you're
Carter.
listening, Raptors, there's 2 tickets that we would love to have November 2nd. Reverend Daniel, the coach, hook us up. We would love to be there.
I love it. I love it. All right, we got a special guest with us today. One of the legends of the PAOC family and former intern of our home church. His name is Kevin Janzen. Yeah. When I first met Kevin Janzen, I know him as Rev Kev or Commissioner Kev now. He used to be Kevin the intern. But when I first met Kevin, he was intern at our home church in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We were probably the few raisins in that bowl of oatmeal. There was mostly a German Pentecostal church, and he actually was my camp counselor at Manhattan Beach Retreat Center. And I remember seeing this young adult superstar athlete. Okay, I was grade 5, grade 6. We were playing touch football, and I was just throwing up bombs. Okay, and the first time I see him make a catch, he absolutely mossed someone. And the second time I threw him a ball, he had a diving catch, fully extended in the end zone. I'm like, this guy is going to the league. I thought this is the greatest athlete of all time. I don't know if I should be an NFL scout at that time, but Rev Kev, why don't you tell us
a little generous.
tell us a little bit about your life, a little bit about your family, because we know some of your family members, a little bit about your ministry.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. This is great. So grew up in small town Manitoba, oldest of 5 kids, farming family, went off to Bible college in Saskatoon, and then I did my internship at IPC in Winnipeg, and good summer of learning. I probably was 19 at the time, something like that. And I mean, IPC, incredible kids and youth, and it was a good training ground experience. I wish I had filmed that football game, because to be honest, I don't totally remember those two epic catches, but it sounds good. Sounds good to me. So kind of trajectory after grad, I had a pastorate in Saskatoon with junior highs, and dabbled in a little kids ministry then too. Went over to Vancouver Island as youth pastor for a couple of years there, and then big move in 09 to Edmonton here, and have been here ever since. So 15 years here in Edmonton, and young adults ministry for 4. And then in the same church, transitioned to youth ministry, miss students, miss like, that tangible life change, whether it's coaching in sports or youth ministry, when you see teenagers kind of get it, the light bulb moment comes on. So I missed that, went back into youth ministry in my 30s, didn't know if I was too old for it, but just went for it anyway. And then our church became a multi-site church. And so I launched our like first multi-site campus, and then a role opened up at district office to work with young pastors and leaders. And I took it. Leadership development, developing young leaders has always been kind of like an essential part of my wiring, the way God created me. And so to be able to do that has been awesome. So I've been in this role since 2021, and kind of the overview is to support, coach, love on, care for all of our young pastors and leaders in the Alberta Northwest Territories of PAOC. So that's the flyover. That's the brief overview. Anything you like to dig in more, or we can move on to? That's.
Yeah. So you mentioned you had 5 siblings. All right. I know
4 siblings, oldest of 5. Yeah.
So 4 siblings. Yeah. I know 3 of them are tall, over 6 feet tall athletes, right? Yeah. So what was the grocery bill like for mom and dad growing up?
I can't even imagine, but I do know that my mom had a massive garden and tried to grow a lot of things on the farm, being, wise stewards of what God's given us, like I was mom and dad, like they modeled that. And so, yeah, I imagine we went through a few Costco runs and a few trips to the co-op grocery store. It was, pretty intense.
Coach.
Yeah, no, I think one thing you mentioned, the transition piece to where it's, I guess, you're coaching and training other pastors, is how's that, changed with like COVID, and is it a lot of it online, or do you fly out to a lot of places? How does that go?
Okay, good question. I was able to, because I took the role in 2021, January. So we were in the midst of a lockdown. It was a good excuse to as many Zoom calls as I could get in. So I'm sure in that's first 6 weeks, I must have had, I don't know, 60, 70 Zoom calls. So it was a great opportunity that to connect with a lot of young leaders that I either hadn't met yet or didn't know super well. So I was able to begin to establish a semblance of trust. And then as over the last 3.5 years have, I travel as much as I can, but also of kids. So I try to balance that out too, and trying to be a good dad while still, being good at my job and trying to connect with as many as possible. But yeah, there's still some virtual components to it, but try to squeeze in and be intentional with as many in-person opportunities as we got.
It's awesome. Why don't we flip some sports stuff here? What is your favorite sports memory, either from you playing as an athlete or something you've watched?
Okay, so I was thinking about this, and I think I gotta go like just my own sports stuff. Still playing in the men's league, touch football. We're in Division 1. We're about 8 years ago, we were rising up the ranks and trying to be competitive, and we had brought ourselves up to second place. And 8 years ago, we knocked off the champs for the first time. And they had won 9 years in a row, probably even more, and they were dominant. And so to defeat them that first time, and then since then we won 6 out of the 8 championships over the last 6 out of the last 8 years. And so even this year, we had our backup Q, like our starter was hurt, and we went in as major underdogs, and our defense was solid. We held them down, and pretty sweet. So I don't know, like kind of a boring answer, but so it's still fun to be as competitive as I can be, and like, some of my brothers have had different injuries. And so to know that, any game could be my last, so I'm just going to enjoy it every time out. And it's been fun.
Where are you lining up on the field?
Good.
Sorry. Yeah. Where are you lining up on the field?
Oh yeah, no, I'm by far the oldest guy on the team, so I'm the center. So in touch, we play 7-on-7, and all 6 receivers are eligible. So I like the most comparable is like an NFL tight end, right? The Travis Kelce, smooth underneath, catching, being the reliable target for the Q, and so it's fun.
So do your kids play sports?
Yeah, so I got 2 daughters and a son, so 13, 11, and 9.
Okay.
My daughter's playing a little volleyball, just playing the junior high volleyball at school. My son Lincoln, he just started tackle football this year, and he's also into baseball. So I got to coach him in baseball this summer.
Nice.
So fun. And then my youngest Lennon, she's doing gymnastics, and that's kind of on pause right now. So she's doing cheer with school. So pretty fun to, and like I don't get really nervous for my own sports, but like coaching Lincoln this summer, that was intense. Like having the weight of being a coach and trying to like get the best of your kids and give them in a position to win. I remember our last playoff game, my heart was going. And it was pretty intense. Like it's like 11-year-old baseball. What does it matter? But it does. So yeah.
Okay, instead of asking you what's your worst sports memory, have you had to deal with any tough parents as a coach?
No, actually. This what's that? Yeah. This year our I would say that our team, with all due respect, was pretty bad. And we didn't win very many games in the regular season, but the parents were pretty like they were self-aware. Like they knew the abilities of their kids. They knew that they weren't super talented. So when it came to playoff time and we did make some judicious decisions as far as playing time, I think they were all on board because they wanted their kids to have this taste of winning. And so we ended up out of the 3 tiers, we were in the bottom tier, but then we won that playoff. So to go out on top like that, I think they were pretty pumped. But no, so far so good as far as bad parents.
Nice.
I think that transitions to a really good question is, so you're coaching and you're impacting kids' lives and you're teaching them how to win. Has there been a coach that sticks out in your mind that really impacted your life and taught you the way to play and mix that faith and sports together, or anything that can come to your mind that way?
Yeah, like in athletics, not as much. I didn't play a lot of sports competitively. Like having 3 brothers, we played a lot of backyard sports and a lot of rec stuff. Did play baseball growing up and had a mixed bag. Like I had some really, really good coaches. The one that stands out the most is actually a negative coach who, like, I would say he at times sapped me of self-confidence. And so as a teenager, I didn't have the confidence to be great. It was just kind of, I don't know, like it's not trying to be woe is me, but it was something that in my young adult years, I had to overcome and gain some of that confidence. And maybe that's why I've been drawn to junior high ministry my whole life, is because I just like, it's so valuable to not just see kids for who they are, but for how God might want to see them. And what, like, there's got to be some like almost seeing beyond what's just presented and seeing a little bit like prophetically, if I can use that word. So it's but then like as far as my growth and trajectory in ministry, I've got incredible coach types.
Yeah.
Buddy Sean Chapman was really instrumental in helping me develop in Saskatoon at Elam there, and some more along the way, but some incredible ministry coaches definitely shaped me for sure.
Love it. I love it. So has sports played a role in developing your faith? And if yes, how has it helped you live out and share your faith?
Yeah, this is it helps me keep my mouth shut. Sometimes I can get a little too fiery and a little bit too competitive for my own good. And there's times where I come off the field and I'm like, Kevin, just shut. To be salt and light and to steward those opportunities And so I would say that's something that I like definitely want to continue to grow in, because as our team is like, the team that I'm on now started off as just a bunch of youth group guys. And then over the course of the year or the years, or like the 15, 17 years that we've been together, because they were playing well before I moved to Edmonton, it's become, there's not very many Christian guys left on the team. And so we got to be able to represent well and to be able to have those conversations. And so mostly it's building relationships, trying to hang out outside of football, and wanting to connect and hang out, and then be ready when the opportunity presents itself. But yeah, that reminder that we don't get to turn it off. In fact, it was last month or the last couple months at church, this guy sitting beside me, and I'm like, man, I was pretty sure it was like our arch rival. I'm pretty sure he's on their team. And so sure enough, after church, I introduced myself, and he's like, yeah, sure enough, it was him. And so we talked a little football. He's kind of new getting back into faith. And so we had a good conversation, but it was a reminder that if someone's to show up, or that I invite someone to church and I haven't represented Christ well on the field, man, I got to give my head a shake and make sure that I steward those opportunities so well. And so, yeah, work in progress, guys, work in progress, but something that I'm still working toward.
Have you ever had it where you shared with someone who's not a believer what you do, and they change kind of how they like talk with you, or how they even play with you? When I play basketball downtown, I share that, I'm the minister at the church and at the corner downtown here. And then it's like, they'll try to clean up their language. And I have to give them a little elbow, a little physicality for them to start playing basketball with me again. Cause like they try to treat me a little dainty. I'm like, nah, don't do that with me. Yeah. You ever had anything like that?
Sure. Yeah, at times, but you try to just maintain that, hey, we're normal guys. We're just out here having fun, and that as Christians, we can't be the unrelatable, like culturally irrelevant. So yeah, trying to be a good representation, but still, throwing a little trash talk and have a little fun while we're at it.
Coach, what's the next one?
Yeah. Is there a verse that has a special place in your heart, or a verse that's tied to when you're feeling a lot of pressure, that you just go back to and lean on?
My favorite scripture is Ephesians 3:14-20. And I think that in the face of adversity, in the face of trials, to come back to that rootedness in Christ, and that I'm not defined by my role. I'm not defined by worldly success. I'm not defined by athletic success. It's got to only be rootedness in Christ, his love, that's beyond my comprehension. And so, yeah, that's kind of been an anchor for me, and one that I try to remind myself and stick close with.
It's awesome. That's really good. I got one more question for you, okay. Rev Kev. What would you tell your teenage self, or any other young person? I guess you do this on the regular. What would you tell yourself? This is what I would do to help grow my faith in my life, and be a salt and the light to the world.
Yeah. If it was my younger self, my teenage self, it would have been something to do with confidence and standing tall and walking in the strength God gives you. Especially as kind of an awkward teenager who didn't have that self-confidence. It would have been like, hey, God's going to do some incredible things in your life that you're not really worthy of, but you're going to, steward them well and stand up tall and go for it. Be confident. That's something that I do preach to my young leaders often, is just self-awareness mixed with God awareness. Is a powerful combination, because you know who you are, and you also know who you're not, right? Like, you don't have to be pressured to be everything to all people. You get to be who God has created you to be, and then you get to walk in his strength and his power that far exceeds anything that I can do on my own. And that's just, it's a liberating place to be, and it allows us to walk lighter, because we leave the results to him.
Come on, that's good.
Awesome.
It's really good. Coach, any follow-ups?
No, I think that was great. Yeah, I think my earliest memory of you is learning what DEF Diesel was in the farm. I don't know why that came up. I don't know why that has stuck with me for forever. But whenever I work in transportation now, and that comes up, I'm like, I know exactly what that's about. So yeah, I think that's great, and it's really cool to see you had the same passion way back then, leading us and to now. It's awesome.
It's crazy how God weaves our lives, and like we haven't seen each other in like, I don't know. I think that was year 2000, so 24 years.
Yeah.
And it's pretty neat, pretty cool, guys, and kind of like an honor to come full circle.
Love it. I love it. All right, one hot take I need from you. Who is your Super Bowl pick for the 2024-2025 NFL season?
Man, you didn't prep me for this one. That
way too early prediction.
You know what? I like what I'm seeing from the Bills. Like, they are looking quite impressive. And if they continue in this, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And out of the NFC, you probably got someone like, I know, there's, you can't say the Vikings, can you? Like, it's
Kevin O'Connell. We were talking about him earlier. Kevin O'Connell is like putting his hat in for Coach of the Year already.
I mean, to knock off the Texans and the Niners in back-to-back weeks, and just not only knock them off, but to crush them. I mean, but if not them, like the Lions and Niners are probably going to be there come end of January, and so I mean, the Chiefs, you never count them out. Like they're going to be really like a thorn in Josh Allen's side, but those are some of the teams in the mix. And I'm actually going to the Chiefs Chargers game on Sunday. So
let's go. Come on. All right, we're gonna look for you in the crowd there.
I got the cheap seats. You won't see me.
They're going with the painted chest, painted face with the boys, or are you just going as
me and my wife? Just me and my wife. So I got my Mahomes jersey, and I'm ready to go.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I love it. Rev Kev, Commissioner Kev, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate your heartbeat. Appreciate all that you do. Is there a way we can help support your ministry, or if any of our followers want to support your ministry, is there a way that they can do that?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great. Reach out. If you search up ABNWT, that's kind of that's our Alberta Northwest Territories website. And links there, contact information.
I'll link that on our YouTube bio, and we'll definitely share that to the rest of the Sports Revs fam, man. This is awesome. Thanks so much for being here. Yeah, appreciate you, brother. And
thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, it's so awesome. Appreciate it.
Have fun on Sunday, brother. Take care.
Peace. All right, guys, that's our show for today. Our special guest, Kevin, thank you so much. And we're going to have so many more throughout the rest of the season. So make sure you like us on, follow us on Instagram and YouTube. Spread our socials to everybody else, and make sure you are tuned. Last word to you, Dan.
All right, I'm stealing a line from the assistant coach of Deion Sanders, of the coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. He ended his prayer this way, and I'm going to steal it. I'm probably going to use it for the rest of my life. And it goes like this. Some say Hail Mary, some say karma, some say it's just luck. I say, thank you, Jesus. Peace out, man.
Peace.